Hello, Apollo 11 Houston. We recommend you accept the now 49. Continue through your sequence of sightings, and then we'll analyze the data afterwards. Over. You're okay.
All right, everybody, we're discussing power issues.
Okay. So think of the power running into your building as it's kind of like a wave, right? It's going to have highs and lows, peaks and valleys, that kind of thing. And if it goes too high or it dips too low to what your power supply actually wants, like most likely it dips low because typically overpowering is not usually a problem. Not usually, but if it goes too high, it could be. But
Right.
if it dips too low, that's what's considered a brownout. And then your power supply says, "Hey, I'm not getting enough from the wall." Safety boots in, shuts the system down. It's just going to shut itself down.
I mean, that's probably what happened, considering literally like 10 minutes later, our entire internet went down.
Yeah, so it browned out on the internet too, and then restarted the router, right? So like that takes a few minutes sometimes for you to like finally lose signal, that kind of thing, depending on what your internet's set up like.
I think it might have been an area issue because they got a thing from Xfinity saying like, oh, there's an outage in your area. So I think it was
Nice.
just the whole area, but it's good to know it just wasn't my PC, like actually
Yeah.
fucking up.
To me, that sounds like somebody hit something out on the streets, and that
Yeah,
will
more-
definitely
and-
affect
Y'all
everything.
used to
that-
live.
we're
Y'all used to
talking
live
about.
here. That's common.
Yeah. So, but that is what Kain was talking about. This is where getting a UPS system comes in, preferably one that can actually handle the fluctuations in power. It'll basically like normalize the power coming to your system, and it'll pull to the backup battery at the point when that fluctuates too high or too low.
And for those of us who are either just learning these things or don't know shit, you want to explain that for the masses?
So an uninterruptible power supply takes in dirty energy. That's what UP stands for, uninterruptible power supply. Takes in
Thank you for
dirty
that.
energy, basically whatever comes out of your wall socket, and it lines up the. I'm trying to think of the easiest way to explain this without getting too physical. So you know how tangentially you have a curve that does this basically across zero?
Mm-hmm.
Right. So that's how your electricity runs. And when you run the reason you run 3 phases for cleaner power is you're basically stacking your tops of your curves so
Mhm.
that you keep a flat line, as flat of a line as you can, for power.
Okay.
What that UPS does is it takes that single phase energy and flattens it out. Some of them convert it to 3-phase, some of them don't, but it uses the battery to basically flatten out that energy feed, turns dirty power into clean power, and is going to provide cleaner power to your PC. What
Okay.
the other thing it does is the uninterruptible part is it has a giant fucking car battery inside of it.
Mm-hmm.
For lack of a better term. So when your system powers off, or when your electricity powers off, it defaults to battery power, which is DC, and it's going to be more cleaner energy anyway, but it gives you like, depending on how many watts your computer's pulling, you can get anywhere from like 3 minutes to an hour for a really expensive one to shut down your stuff. When I used them primarily, I've never had one for personal use, but when I used them primarily, it was like, oh, our generator got blown up. We need to turn off all these radios so they don't melt. Because a lot of our radios have
Okay.
cooling systems in them, and that's the first thing that goes in a power outage.
Yeah.
Oh, I see what you're talking about. Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah. So
here's-
that is
Go
the
ahead.
exact one I was going to recommend him. I'm glad
Go
you
ahead,
did
Beans.
too.
So with the recommendation that Scorch threw out in our group chat, he threw out a 1,000-watt, 1,500 volt amp unit, an UPS unit. But with that, my next question to kind of detail all of this out is, how do you know what's the right size? Because if you go on Amazon, it's not sold in wattage; it's sold in VA.
Safe
But
route,
when you click on it, it should show you the wattage.
yeah, your safe route is going to be whatever your power source can produce, because your power source is always going to underproduce. So if you have a 1,000-watt power source that's 80% efficient, it's really only producing 800 watts. It can spike to 1,000, but it's only ever going to continuously source 800 watts. That's
Okay.
rough math.
It's very rough.
But that's the easiest
Yeah,
way of
the-
thinking about it. So if you
Right.
have 1,000-watt, because like fuck your screens, fuck your keyboard, fuck all. If that stuff shuts off, your UPS will have enough extra power in the battery to keep at least one of them on, so you could hit shutdown, or just hit the button on your PC. It'll shut itself off.
Yeah.
Honestly, I wouldn't even recommend plugging your screens and all your auxiliary shit into it. I would run it just for your PC.
I ain't worried
Yeah.
about all that shit. That doesn't have all the expensive components on it that are, this big.
So
And
I've got kind of everything running to mine, just throwing that out there. But that's because of the way my desk is set up, is because, I have a sit stand desk, so I only want one power cable going out,
Oh, okay, I got you.
right? So I have everything hooked into extension cables, which is probably the worst way to fucking do it, but c'est la vie. And then
as
those
long
go
as the gauge
into
is
the
right,
UPS.
it's fine.
Yeah. Now, so sitting here, for instance, though, like the nice thing about this particular UPS is that it has the panel on the front, and you can set the panel to be always on, and you can actually set it to show you how much wattage you use at any given time.
Okay.
So sitting here right now, I'm fluctuating between 270 to 310.
Okay.
At the current power level, I could probably get about a solid 45 minutes out of it before, it just loses full battery if the power goes out.
Okay.
And it also has a built-in system, so you're never going to drop a phase. You're going to drop full power. So you're not going to go from like 500 watts of usable energy to 400 watts of usable energy and to 300 as your batteries drain. It's designed to where when it hits a certain percentage in the battery, it just fucking shuts you off.
Gotcha.
Which is safer
This
for
one-
your electronics, because if it's running lower power and trying to pull more power, it's going to create more resistance, which then creates more heat and creates more amperage, and that's how you melt circuit boards.
Right. And now the other cool thing about these units, though, is like, let's say, for instance, you don't really keep your system on all the time, but you lose power anyway.
Right.
You can use them as
Plug
a
'em back
backup for
easier.
your house.
If you didn't know, we're
Right.
recording.
We are recording. You can use them as a backup for your stuff in your house. So, like, let's say power
Okay.
goes out for an extended amount of time, which is pretty typical for you in that state on, hurricanes and whatnot. And you can keep it just to charge your phone. Like shut your system down, let it just sit as a battery, and then charge your phone, charge whatever, charge a flashlight if you need to. Like it
Like
has
a battery
it has
pack
that,
with more safeguards and higher
it has
potential.
it has that utility. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a and 100% good to protect your system. That's what it's for.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sweet.
This particular model actually looks slightly newer than what I have, though. I guess I just have like an old case or something, but it's still the same rating.
Yeah, I
It's
mean,
20
they,
bucks
Right.
at Costco.
they update them pretty regularly.
Yeah, but this is supposed to be the same model I purchased, and it's a completely different case altogether. Like mine looks very different than this.
Well, if you bought
But-
yours, you said what, 2017? No, it's probably 18650s on the inside. But yeah, it's got built-in Surge Plus battery. It's got network in and out to help clean up any PoE that you're running. Just all kinds of interesting stuff. They're super useful. They're just not something that me and Beans and Poe would use, because house power is generally pretty clean, but you living in a condo is your power is going to be dirty because it's going to fluctuate. Your phases are going to come on and off based on basically used energy in the building. You have what, 500 fucking units
Yeah, something stupid like that.
Like if it's raining, you might be on
You-
3 phase. If it's nice out, you'll be on 1 phase.
You say you guys might not need it, but house power being clean or not, you could still lose power randomly.
We
Yeah,
could, and to play devil's advocate to Kane's statement as well, while I do agree with him because I'm not running one, I'm also a bad person because I have an extension cable from the closest outlet to where my desk is because I don't have one near me, then going to a power strip that everything is then plugged into. So I'm technically setting myself up for failure at some point because I just have too much shit plugged into one thing. But
You two are naughty. You should know better.
oh no, we do. But we
mean-
understand the risks we're taking.
eventually I'm doing a full house ups, so I'm good with it.
There you go.
Yeah, that's the fucking baller move.
All right,
You're right over there, Kane. You kind of disappeared on us.
taking a big hit off my hookah,
Nice.
but I don't want it to. If my work decides to ever look at this, I don't want to ever have to make the argument that I smoke a lot of hookah versus, hey, you're smoking weed, go take a drug test.
Oh.
So I guess we should have our AI bot do the intro now,
Yeah, roll the intro.
huh?
I'm back. My hookah's dead.
Hello, and welcome back to the Depths of Jigoku Podcast. This week, if you couldn't tell already, we are joined by Kain,
Hello.
DreadPirate,
Hola.
KickenBeans, Scorch,
Greetings.
and myself.
Um,
Besides power supplies, how are we doing today?
Doing good, doing good. Had some travels recently, so I am still tired as hell because flying always just takes it out of you, but doing
Oh,
good.
shit. I'm exhausted still.
shoot out a
Especially with the
congrats
time
to
shift,
family
right?
I'm
style.
sharing my woes, buddy.
I know. I'm just agreeing with you. I'm also still exhausted.
But yeah, shout out to Family Style, a previous guest on the podcast. Tied the knot. His boyfriend is very beautiful. Husband now, sorry.
Damn.
Way to go, sir.
Yeah.
And we were some of the youngest people the entire fucking thing.
Yeah, it was weird, but it was cool.
I think I
it was
might
a
have been
good
one of the
fellowship.
only
It was a
single
good-
not children there.
I got a really good job offer while I was there, and I didn't realize how good it was until they emailed it to me yesterday. And now I'm thinking about going back into government work.
Uh-oh.
Will that take you having to live out there?
Nope, work from home position.
Ooh.
Careful.
Yeah.
Not gonna say who, but that might not be around for too much longer. The way things are
Yeah.
going.
And also with what they have government employees doing nowadays, a weekly like progress report.
Oh, I wouldn't be a government employee. I'd be a contractor.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Fuck being a government employee. GS-15s don't make as much as I do. Not like trying to dig on any GS-15s or anything, but for what you guys do, you guys are poor. But yeah, I'm trying to figure that out right now.
Nice.
Nice.
Yeah,
It's a good time.
starting GS-15. Never mind. I'm not gonna get into pay because then people can guess our pay.
Slippery slope.
Now
Yeah,
they're gonna look it up.
yeah.
Oh, they're making a Batman 1989 sequel.
Is this
Sequel?
the Batman Beyond?
It's called Batman Revolution, and it'll be reintroducing Tim Burton's Batman verse, so the Riddler as well.
Yeah, this was supposed to be Batman Beyond. Because
Which
Tim
is-
Burton was supposed to come back with Michael Keaton, and being as how Michael Keaton's fucking Stone Age now.
Yeah.
They were trying to make him old Bruce Wayne.
He would be the perfect old Bruce Wayne for a Batman Beyond live action.
Well, he already kind of wasn't he? For what was it? One of the DC films.
I mean,
A Flash movie.
technically he wasn't. Technically, he was just old Batman
Yeah.
for that film, but he acted like the Batman from Batman Beyond.
Technically.
It's technically it wasn't, but it was absolutely was.
So you mean he wasn't supposed to be his version of Batman that he played for many years,
Yeah,
but he did it anyway.
yeah.
Yo, have you guys
I
seen
mean,
Birdman?
Old
Michael
dog new
Keaton's
tricks?
Birdman.
Oh, yeah.
Not,
Oh, yeah.
Not Attorney at Law. Oh, dude, you have to watch Birdman. It is
Okay.
Michael Keaton struggling with the fact that most people remember him as Batman while also trying to do things, and definitely learns to fly by the end of the movie.
There's a lot
Okay.
more struggle within that film, but it's good.
Yeah.
I
It's
have
a good
seen
sit
that
down
one.
and watch.
I've seen that one suggested to me so many times, and I still haven't seen it. So on that recommendation, I will find it and watch it.
I will check that out. I also
It's-
got
Sail the high seas.
I have
Discord?
it on Blu-ray actually.
Nice.
All right, movie night.
Oh, dude, I will definitely do a movie night of Batman or Birdman.
I'll check it out and get back to you on that one next time we're
Yeah,
on a
it's
podcast.
it's up there on my list with like Harold and Maude and Onyx the Fortuitous. It is a good ass movie. It's a good movie that is only better if you pay more attention. I'm guessing you
enough.
haven't seen Harold and Maude.
No.
Bro, the fuck? Have you seen Terminator 2?
Yes.
Are you talking
Okay.
about Harold and Maude, the 1970s movie?
Yeah.
I played the
Greatest movie ever
Terminator 2
made.
video game. Okay.
No, I'm with you. You said Harold and Maude, and I think I thought of Harold and Kumar.
That's where my brain
I was
went, but I was
like,
like, that can't be
That's
right.
not in the same list of movies. Hold on.
No,
I'm missing something.
that's another one you have to watch, sir. Harold and Maude is such a good movie.
Yeah, it's a really good.
And pre-warning for any listeners that are wanting to check out these movies, Sewer Slide is a big deal in two of those movies. So just go in with caution. But Harold and Maude is basically about this young dude that really likes going to funerals, falls in love with an old lady, and they go to funerals together.
It's not weird.
It's weird in the best way possible.
I
All
mean,
right.
I'm sure it is, but it's definitely still weird.
I feel like I watched it a long time ago. So
You probably
It's an
did.
old movie.
rude.
That's not how I meant that, but sure. You probably did.
As the group Over the Hill member.
Oh, not quite. Not quite.
Ooh, so close though.
Jab, jab.
Look, I got like 5 more months. Screw you guys.
Are you
I got
doing
4
anything?
months and 23 days.
Are you doing anything big for it?
No.
You're just gonna hide away.
Yes.
No, man.
The
We're doing the thing of his generation. We're going bowling.
Let's celebrate.
We did that last
celebrate
year.
it
We'll
at
do
the
something
burn.
else this year.
Can it at least be cosmic bowling so we can feel young again?
It was cosmic bowling.
Ugh.
So funny.
Hey man, cosmic bowling and cheap pictures of Yingling are some of my favorite pastimes in my early 20s.
Dude, I drank so much last weekend. You guys
We all did.
You're welcome.
For the members that weren't there, night one we went through 5 bottles of shoju
5 mini
Um,
bottles and
yeah.
one big bottle.
and a big bottle of sake. And then night 2 we did 5 bottles of shoju and 3 big bottles of sake over the course of
crap.
like 3.5 hours.
Yeah, no wonder I didn't hear from you guys at all. Jeez.
Yes.
Also, we stayed up talking for like 6-7 hours every night.
Yeah, every night we were up till at least 2 a.m. just chatting and drinking and just having like an adult good time.
We got to
Right, no
plan
shit.
an
Playing
adult
card
good
games.
time getaway.
No shit. You got a couple of you with the time difference, and one of you who basically stays up till 3 a.m. anyway. So
Yeah. Dude, when we went to the Smithsonian, I was so fucking tired. I had like 4 coffees. Just
Dude,
so
when we were at
fucking
the
tired.
when we were at the Smithsonian, I felt fine. It wasn't like halfway through the celebration day that I like took a deep breath and I was just like, I am tired from everything.
I'm with Beans on that one. Halfway through that thing, I was just like, well, I'm done with people.
Dude, some of those old people partied harder than we did. It was
Yes,
kinda
they
nice.
did.
Yeah, you guys pre-gamed for 2 days though. What do you expect?
Dude,
You gotta-
we were the youngest people there. The bridal party, groom's party, and us were the youngest people there by probably 30 years.
No, not that far of a window. I'd say 15.
Almost all of those people were retired government workers.
All right, 20.
Most of them were old as shit.
Yeah.
And this was Scorch to put and an AI bot to put like a perspective on this one. This is the whitest wedding I have ever been to.
It was so bad that there were questions about how many minorities were going to be there, and we had to count. Just
And
to
you
like
could
make sure
count.
the percentage
It
was
was-
acceptable.
And it was
easy.
less than 2 hands.
It was easy to count. Gotcha.
Yeah.
It was very easy to count.
There was
They-
80
they
or so
played
people
YMCA
there, and
during
we
the-
barely hit
During the
10%.
reception. All right,
Oof.
1 sec.
Yeah, DEI was not the jam at that party. Yeah, no, it was a good party. A lot of fun. The lead up to it was actually fun on my side. And I got to go see the Air and Space Museum, and I was really happy about that. I've never been there.
Nice.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun. I definitely want to do another trip going back there to just explore more Smithsonians.
I mean, it wasn't super expensive. Like between the flights, the Airbnb, and what we spent on food and booze, I don't think I spent $2,000. And I flew way
No.
more people than most people.
Yeah, definitely not.
Also, the Smithsonians are dope, and I will be right back, guys.
Okay.
Also, fuck water pressure in that town. Fuck it. Dude, I've been peed on with more water pressure than what came out of that shower. It was rough. It took me 45 minutes to shave my head. Just like trying to get the razor clean.
Why not just fill a sink? I'm
'Cause-
confused.
The sink water pressure was just as fucking bad. I didn't want to wait for it to fill.
No, you just turn it on, walk away, go make yourself a coffee, come back. It might be half
That's
full.
kind of what it felt like.
Things had already transpired by that time. There was no walking away to make a cup of coffee.
Decisions had been made. Yeah, it was, and it wasn't just our Airbnb. I thought it was, because he had the high efficiency shit everywhere. But talking to people that stayed in the hotels, different hotels, said they were running into the same issue.
Wild.
So
Fun.
yeah, but that was the only real complaint I had.
Well, let's talk about 9070s and how they are apparently as good undervolted as a 5080. Thoughts,
Yeah.
feelings?
Yeah, it's
So I gotta admit, I'm pretty behind on all the releases and tech updates and stuff.
Okay. So 5090s, 5080s, you've heard about those. The
Oh, yeah.
5070 Ti's. Their 5070 Ti's are okay. We'll say okay. As far as like not a budget friendly middle range card. They're
Yeah.
okay. Of course, scalpers being scalpers, that's part of why I brought this up. It's obnoxious right now in any way, shape, and form to get any kind of graphics card. So
Agreed.
good fucking luck to anybody out there. So NVIDIA came out with the 5070, and they had promised 50 or 4090 performance. Well, that was a lie.
No.
So I know everybody's shocked. And obviously the price point that they set isn't really the price point that they set, because apparently they walked it back or did something with it, and now it's more expensive. So cool.
Tariffs.
Any of the vendors who are creating the 5070s, which MSI, by the way, now has apparently 19 different versions That's a story I linked in our chat.
That's so stupid.
Yeah, I didn't even really read the article. I was like, well, this is enough to talk about it. Yeah, apparently they have 19 versions of 5070s, but 5070 is not even getting close to 4090 performance. In fact, like the 5080 isn't even getting close to 4090 performance. The best card is obviously the 5090, and that comes with a lot of its own issues.
Such as fire.
Enter the 9070s, which apparently are doing pretty freaking well as far as benchmarking goes. Like, as far as like having a 7900 XTX, you're still golden. You know, you're still doing great. Still one of the top line cards. A 5070 XT undervolted can damn near meet what a 5080 is doing in Cyberpunk 2077. And that is, I think that benchmark was without ray tracing on, because, you know, whatever, it's ray tracing. But that is with like frame gen and all that fun stuff. So I don't know, man. It feels like AMD's kind of swinging and winning right now, except for availability, and that's every card right now.
I got 2 points. As far as scalpers are going, just trolling eBay. Yeah, there's some high asks, but sold for prices are hovering around the 900 mark, which isn't fucking bad. And there's not a lot of options. It looks like there's like 4 or 5 main sellers. So that tells me that people are using them.
Yeah.
And then point 2, fuck, NVIDIA dropped the ball on this one, man. Like, we weren't around for the podcast, or the podcast wasn't around for the newest Intel release, or if it was, we barely talked about it.
What, the 580s? We talked about them.
No, processor release.
Ah, okay.
And that was another, a lot of people think of it as a ball dropped, but Intel's been terrible at efficiency for a long time. So the fact that they kept it close to what they had for the previous generation and it being like 60% more efficient, fucking high five. Good job, Intel. You can work on performance later. Because a 600 watt processor is too fucking much. But NVIDIA's got no fucking excuse. They've been power hungry since they weren't ATI before. What were they before that?
ATI was AMD.
Yeah. What was NVIDIA? 3D Mark.
Yeah.
3D Marks were power hungry motherfuckers. So that's nothing new. They didn't improve the efficiency, and they didn't really improve, like, yeah, they improved performance, but really, like,
but not even that much.
Yeah,
right?
people are overclocking and getting way more performance out of their 40 series than they are with their 50 series.
Yeah, well, so that's the design and architecture change. They moved over to AI processing to generate more fake frames, and you don't get real rasterization. You don't get real anything anymore. It's all predispositioned to create fake frames.
What are we talking about here?
We're catching beans up on the GPU situations and the failings of the 50 series.
Also, or the 50, 80s, 90s.
I mean, just the 50 series in general, not delivering what was promised.
I mean, are we surprised?
Yeah, because NVIDIA usually blows it out the park, and all of our arguments are like, this costs too much. Like, quit making me sell my child to buy a graphics card.
Like,
it's across the line, too. It's not just like the lower end ones?
No, it's across the line. NVIDIA barely had a performance bump.
Yeah. And in the past generations, like the 3000 series, the 4000 series, the price was the biggest bitch about all of it. But at the end of the day, if you could save up the money, you could still justify it because it was the better card on the market.
Fuck.
At least in my experience.
Well, I mean, yeah, that's why I went from a 20 series to a 40 series. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, and didn't go with the Team Red at the time, because Team Red might have been buggier, right? Like that's always been Team Red's thing, is like the software doesn't always match up to the power and performance they offer, right?
Mhm.
And you know, drivers having issues and stuff like that. Like that's always been Team Red's problem with launch cards. This is Elliot, by the way, enjoying having a good time. I'll censor the butt. And you know,
No,
usually
everybody loves a
censoring that
kitty butt.
ass.
usually
Yeah,
Team Green,
don't be rude to her. She showed it off for everybody.
him.
Don't censor it.
It's
We're-
him, but okay.
Him.
But yeah, I mean, Team Green usually brings everything in a nice, neat package. Granted, in the last couple of years, their prices have gotten a little outlandish for what they're offering, but
A little bit.
you still got the power for performance for pay that you are paying for. Now it's ludicrous, in my opinion. It is absolutely ludicrous to get a card that doesn't have as much performance gain over the last generation and has 10, 15, 100% of the price of the previous generation. No, thank you.
Yeah.
How much were the 50 or the 4090s when they dropped? I don't remember.
Like $1,200,
No,
So
which at the time seemed outrageous to me.
the
what-
used
so what
market's
there's
balanced
everybody-
out. Sorry,
What's that, Kane?
I fucked up and looked up what a 4090 cost because I was gonna say that 4090s are just as much as 5090s right now, but the used market just
Ew.
balanced out. I could pick up a 4090 for like a G.
Right.
Yeah. So
Closing
the
eBay.
4090s at release were $15.99.
Okay. And then they dropped down to like 12 at some point.
Was that FE or aftermarket?
That was
FE,
that was
yeah.
FE.
Because that for a while, again, those cards were released and there was a shortage on supply. Fucking people were snagging these up and reselling them like crazy. That these were running for $2,000 a card, just like we're seeing with the 50 series.
Right. Except the 50 series baseline cost is $2,000.
Yeah.
Didn't the 30 series kind of start all this like high price graphics cards? Because the 30 series came out around COVID time, right?
So 30
COVID.
series, 30
Which
series
pushed those
technically-
graphics card prices high as fuck because you couldn't get them anymore.
Yeah, and that necessarily wasn't a supply and demand issue because of like
Well, it was just
Check-
not
so-
of the gamer.
yeah, but it wasn't because of the manufacturer's delay on product or the misrepresentation from the company itself. COVID stopped everything. So that drove supply and demand because everybody who was never even a computer PC gamer all of a sudden started getting into it because they needed something to pass the time.
Right.
Rightfully so. But yeah, that's what started it. And that's how we got this new egg shuffle. We got scalpers, we got people reselling all kinds of shit.
But also a big part of the reason they jumped up in price wasn't necessarily because the people had nothing better to do and they just started becoming PC gamers. We also had about 60% of the components used to make graphics cards stuck out in the ocean on a boat.
Yeah, there was a lot of logistical nightmares during the pandemic, but
Mhm.
that is what slowly led up to the whole shortage that we experienced with the 30 series cards. But during that time frame with COVID and everything, I'll speak from my perspective of the industry that I work in. Graphics cards also stopped being made because the same fucking chips that were utilized to generate those cards also needed to fill the automotive industry, and manufacturing plants were focusing on corporations rather than a subset group of kids that want to play video games.
So to give you
It's
like
true.
the full blown background on this, silicone shortage is really what happened during COVID.
That's what it was.
And then the silicone shortage, of course, powers any productivity to creating any kind of microchip, right?
Yeah.
So we're talking shortages on CPU processors. We're talking shortages on GPU processors or GPU components. We're talking shortages on vehicle processing units.
That's at a
So-
time when the vehicles were pushing heavy into becoming all electronic.
Right.
Like
So
the ass end of that generation of cars coming out.
yeah. And I remember like buying my truck just before all the bullshit started happening. And then while the bullshit was happening, even when I went to go get it serviced, they were like, hey, do you want to trade in your vehicle? We'll give you any of the ones on the lot, which I was like, no, I'm good. Thanks. And like, but why though? And they're like, we're trying to up our used car market so that we can, give people used cars that are still working that don't have chip issues or, something like that. They basically told me that they couldn't get new cars because there were no chips to put in the new cars. So they were trying to bump their used stock so that they can have vehicles to keep open in business. Like, that's
a used stock that
that's-
they started pricing at the same price as a new car.
exactly.
Mhm.
Like that's what happened to the market, right? So the thing is that these companies realize that we are willing to pay, even during a shortage, outstanding prices because scalpers were selling for $200 to $300 more than what the cards were valued at. So lo and behold, the next generation comes out at $200 to $300 more than they probably should have been, and it's just been a continuing trend from there. So now, but now we're in the point where only freaking whales can get these high-end cards, or the scalpers who are reselling them for $200 to $300 more than they're worth. Like, it's become insane. And the other thing that pisses me off is there's no regulation on it, right? All of these companies who provide products to consumers are not doing anything to prevent bots from going in, refreshing the pages and picking up the card, supplying financial information, and then getting the card. They're just making the profit because these things just go out.
Now, on a business level, completely understandable. That is guaranteed profit. You don't have to worry about it not being wanted. You don't have to worry about it not being bought. And it's going to happen immediately. So you can move on to the next round, which is going to be priced higher. And the same thing's going to happen.
Right, because
Bots are gonna
now
pick it up.
Well, so for instance, let's take like X company. We'll call it By and Large. Okay, let's say By and Large gets a set of
stuff.
new graphics cards. Let's say they get a new set of graphics cards in, and they are priced at MSRP, right? They sell it immediately. On their next supply, they bump their prices. I've actually seen a couple of like retail stores who should be selling at MSRP selling for $200 to $300 more than the MSRP, and they're just allowed to do this.
And the other bullshit on that side of it, and there's so much Reddit documentation out there proving it, where retailers have sold their first batches of product that they got in at the MSRP price, have oversold what their product quantities were, and then send out company emails to the customer stating, hey, sorry, we're going to refund you your money because we ran out of stock from the original purchase. When the next stock comes in, you can remake a new purchase and we'll give you first dibs on the next inventory reload, but it's going to be at the new pricing.
Capitalism.
It's actually even worse than that. It's worse than that. So a couple of these retailers realized how big the demand was going to be compared to their stock, and people who and some of these guys even offered pre-sale, right? Like you could go in and pay for it ahead of time and just go get it on the day it came in, right? Some of these companies were so shitty that they actually canceled the pre-sale order so they could then raise the price.
Yeah.
On the ones that they had on their first round of stock. Absolute horseshit. So yeah, anyway, so the 9070 launch, not great. There's definitely more cards available, but honestly only if you were not a scalper or a bot.
Wait, did 9070s get popped that fast too?
Yes.
I wasn't paying attention.
Within a day. They were gone.
And you and I were literally on the road when the 9070s went on sale.
Oh shit.
And the only way that you could actually get them is if you were near a micro center, because that's the only place that actually had stock and was selling them at MSRP.
No shit. Holy fuck.
Yeah, AMD also disproportionately gave stock to specific retailers they knew weren't going to raise the prices.
Good for AMD. This is why I'm happy I'm Team Red.
But mind you, AMD's still a terrible company. They're just kind of good where we care.
That's all I care about. You good to me, I'm good to you, baby. This is a give and take. You fuck me over, I fuck you.
I gotta say, for this launch, they are being better about the people who want to actually purchase their shit and not just like letting bots have the fucking stock. Like at that point, you may
Yeah.
as well just post your shit online direct from your company and direct sale to some dude's house in like, Wisconsin or some shit. I don't know where they come from.
At this point, just
But-
take the "I'm not a robot" thing off your fucking website and let them have at it. It's happening anyways.
Right?
One less step for everybody.
Have you guys seen the new captcha where you gotta like line up the worm with the background image?
Yeah.
No, but I've seen the puzzle piece one. That one's
The same
interesting.
thing. The
It's
exact same thing.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
just
okay.
an extra dimension.
Nice.
So instead of like you grabbing a bar and moving it over so it lines up, you gotta actually like click it and drag it.
Oh, so it's like a puzzle. That's cute.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm still stuck on the very confusing. Pick the pictures that have this in it.
They're getting rid of those and I'm so happy about it.
Yeah, because those are
Good, because half the
obnoxious.
time they're wrong. Some of them have a little bit of it in it, or some don't.
Yeah. At what percentage does it count that it does not have it in it?
Yeah.
It's like select all the pictures that have a bicycle in it. Well, that has a bicycle tire, but it's not a complete bicycle. Where do we draw the line?
I usually just do it like highlighting the outline of the thing
Yep.
at that point, and that's usually works.
They go for everything.
I do it wherever the bicycle touches.
But I mean, they can't use the photo one anymore, right? Because AI can actually detect and see
Yeah.
that there's a bicycle, and it can choose the frames. Like
AI's got eyes.
does. AI didn't even really need eyes though. Like there were ways previously, because I remember doing this in college, was you could have an image and you could write a piece of software to tell you what was in the image. Like that already existed.
That's
Yeah,
pretty gnarly.
it's just existing on a much grander scale now.
Yeah.
There's nothing super special about AI from what I've gathered. Is it's just programmers figured out how to program something that can scrape
Well,
things off the internet.
Let's be real. It's not AI. It's
Yeah.
just a generative algorithm that, can keep compiling on itself. Like
Yeah.
it can keep adding new repertoire to its memory banks. Actual AI would be scary at this point. Like if it populates right now.
I've seen iRobot. I ain't about that shit, man.
I was thinking more like Skynet, like, but
I mean, they're probably in the same universe. Let's be honest.
I mean, we're still in the heyday of AI.
I don't fear our AI overlords. I know they'll kill me quick.
Because you beat all your electronics.
Yeah, I'm purposely mean to them, so when they finally snap, I get to go first.
It's like the meme of why you carry a gun around your house. So AI overlords, robots. So I laughed, she laughed, the toaster laughed. I shot the toaster.
And then the toaster takes a bath.
nice.
Live, laugh, toaster bath.
Yeah.
All right. So back to the
Oh.
original subject, the 9070 XT 's sick. I'm excited for it when I finally decide to pull the trigger on one. The 9070 is also sick for the price point, even though that was the biggest complaint. Give it like 6 months, they'll be super discounted. You'll be able to pick one up for $400.
And
And
apparently they're
then-
pretty awesome for power consumption.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
Nvidia generally lost the battle this time.
Yeah, we'll
Yeah,
see.
it's been interesting. So, like I mentioned earlier, I kind of missed the release of all this stuff, and I missed all the reviewer releases of all their data graph and all that stuff. But kind of looking over some graphs that like Gamer Nexus has, where he's comparing game title by game title with all the different graphics cards. It's definitely the 97 XTs are definitely holding their own for the price point that they're at to the generation placement that they're
Yeah.
coming out at.
As for the model, it being a 70 series card, it's punching way above its fucking price bracket.
Yeah, not just
Um,
that, but like being a top tier, mid tier card, like it's doing exactly those two titles.
Yeah.
Like it on average, on most titles from what I'm seeing, it sits right below the 7900 XTX, which is AMD's previous generation top tier card, and sitting just below the 4090 and 5090s. So like you're getting what you pay for this time.
Also, AMD driver updates are going to make that card a beast in a year. Just
Oh
because,
yes.
like, the 7900 XTX when it first came out was fucking
Dog shit.
garbage. But now it's the card to buy.
Yeah. Oh, and I thought I should mention there is rumor that AMD is thinking about basically upping their weight class again one more time.
Do it.
Well, after
So-
they just beat Nvidia for the year.
If
So they
could,
might come out with the 9070, what they're calling Ultimate is what the rumors say, which is basically like pushing it closer to beating the 5080s even at overclock.
dude, if AMD could put out a $1,000 or less card that kicks the teeth in of a 5080, it would sell. It
Oh,
would
yeah.
sell.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I mean it's gonna. It might not. It's meant to be like, because right now the 9070 XTs are competing with the 7900 XTX. That's really what they're doing, and they're not even trying to compete. They're just it's better software. They did more with it, right?
And I mean there is some hardware generation update to it too.
Yeah, that's what I mean. That's what I mean. Like the hardware is better for the card.
Yeah.
But they wanted intentionally to put out a high-end mid-tier card. That's
Mhm.
what they did. But it's punching close to some of the higher-end, next
High-end
level cards, right? So
Yeah.
So they are apparently considering, by rumor, nothing out yet, but by rumor they're considering putting out a higher tier version, something with probably like a 20 gig RAM or maybe like 24, because it really doesn't need 24, right? Or anything higher than that at this point. Like a lot of the software and hardware components actually help to beat the previous generation. So
I mean,
see.
these cards still came out with DDR6 versus DDR7 like Nvidia did. So I'd almost be curious if they do release that Ultra, even if they stayed at the 16 gig, is that what they're at?
Mhm.
Even if they stayed at that gig count, if they went to DDR7 and modernized just that alone, like that would give it a boost.
It would give it a boost, but I don't think anybody would notice it. It's not
No,
like
not really.
games are pulling DDR7 speeds. Otherwise, we'd see it in the 1080 Ti's.
And I mean, that's the ultimate question too, right? Is Nvidia just basically preempting what gaming technology is going to be? Right? Is this like Raiders of the new Indiana Jones game where you have to have an Nvidia card? Is it going to be like that going forward with ray tracing on all the time?
Shit's dumb.
I know it's dumb, but I'm just saying, like, are they punching for that because that's what they're expecting, is ray tracing to just become integral to every single game?
That's the thing. The 9070 is good at ray tracing. It's as good
I mean,
as the
it
40
is.
series across the board. They did a 25% uplift in ray tracing, and it, like, marketing aside, because when they said that, everyone was like, yeah, sure, shut the fuck up, tell us about rasterization.
They did.
AMD did a good fucking job with ray tracing, and their FSR 4, their DLSS like clone, is better than DLSS 4, at least in the images I've seen. It's like clearer. You don't get any weird artifacts. You get some, but not as much. They did a good fucking job on this. Like, props to AMD.
Look, if I could have gotten my hands on an XFX Mercury Magnetic, then I'd already be testing this out for you guys. But
Yeah, that's the one I want to. One, because I get to play with the fans, and two, half the shroud, they released the files on the shroud so you could 3D print custom ones that mount up magnetically the same way.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
I will
So,
say
yeah.
I also saw some photos of the third-party cards where the connector placement is actually kind of hidden by the top now. So
That's
it's
the card
actually
you don't
tucked
want.
in.
that's the
Oh, really?
that's the Nitro Plus Sapphire.
Yeah,
And
it's
that
the
actually
12-pin high power.
that's using the 12-pin high power, but it's a braided cable connection that only goes out to 8x2s or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So I don't think it'll melt.
The other thing with this is there's 3 different power connectors you're seeing on the card. You're seeing the 12-volt high power, which is NVIDIA's bullshit. You're seeing 2 2x8s, which is the standard, and then the higher end ones, the ones you're going to spend close to $800 on, have 3 2x8 connectors.
Right.
And people are shunt modding those and seeing like 600 watts and 5090 performance on them in the high end. Like they're just running juice through that motherfucker.
That's too funny.
I'm excited
it's
for
gonna
like
be-
LN2 cooling on the 9070 XT.
Yeah, it's going to be really interesting to see once these cards are actually out in the public hands more so than they are now, how they develop.
Yeah, and driver updates are always going to be a big thing because AMD doesn't have as big of a driver team as NVIDIA, so they can't catch everything. It's only going to get better, just like every AMD graphics card.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's not really off to a shitty start either. Like,
No.
they're already pulling good numbers. And if it's only going to get better from there, it kind of makes me excited to upgrade and potentially, restock my current graphics card.
I mean, it's probably their best launch since the 580.
True.
Like legitimately best launch since the 580. Yeah, I'm excited for AMD.
Good
Yeah,
things
it's
for
gonna
them.
be- Yeah, I'm really looking forward to the trend. The only fear that I have is kind of like what Scorch touched on, where titles, and I've kind of mentioned this in the past in a previous episode, where it's going to kind of transition to the way it used to be in the past, where if you want to play certain titles, you need to have this subset of hardware. If you want to play these certain titles, you need to have this subset of hardware. Which there's always
Maybe-
going to be a gray area where things can be played on either side, but I'm just kind of fearful that it goes in that direction.
I mean, if anything, this generation fixed that because the 9070 XT does the new Indiana Jones game better than a 5080.
Does. And
Oh.
here's the other thing now too, is that compared to those days, we have way more resources available to us, including people who know how to port these games properly or fix them.
Yeah.
Fair.
And like they make that their hobby job and take donations, you know what I mean? To just make these things work how they should with, other components. So
Yeah.
I don't really ever see that being an issue again. There might be some legal issues, but I don't ever see that actually being an issue again, like it
All
was
right.
in the past. So
Rasterization for the win.
Yeah.
Um,
But we've been harping on graphics cards for a little while. Capcom is doing some interesting things.
do tell.
So apparently they just took out a IP request for Dino Crisis of all games.
No shit. I'm here for it. I am here for this. I loved
Why?
Dino Crisis.
So you guys know that they just released a Sudoku game, Suikoden. I always
Suikoden?
mess- Yeah, Suikoden. Thank you. I
Yeah, the dude with the
always
stick.
screw up the saying of that one. So they just re-released like 1 and 2 3D HD remaster or something like that. But apparently they are just like, we're just gonna go retro again for fun.
They're coming out with a new Onimusha game soon.
Yes.
Which again was a huge fan of that line of games back in the day. They were fun.
Yeah.
agree
I don't
with
think
that
I ever
one,
played this game.
but I can't jump on the Dino
Oh.
Crisis bandwagon.
Oh,
It was a garbage game.
the Onimusha games were. Think you're killing demons like DSM or DMS, DMC.
This
Devil May
looks
Cry.
like the
DMC.
aftermath.
Devil May
Dread.
Cry.
Yeah, took me a second, but
You're good.
but you're doing it in old feudal Japan samurai shit.
All right.
And I think from what I read, they're going to be introducing a two-sword style similar to similar to Miyamoto Musashi's.
It
And
looks like
apparently-
Miyamoto Musashi in the.
I think it's
trailer.
supposed to be him.
They actually did take out a permit to use the likeness of Miyamoto Musashi.
Oh, they did. That's what it was. But I am super excited for that because in new age graphics and game styles and dynamics, I think it's gonna be good.
And I'm sorry, one more time. Which title was that?
Onimusha.
Sorry, I was still stuck on Dino Crisis.
You're good. So yeah, I'm excited for what Capcom's doing. I mean, obviously, Wilds is a fucking hit.
Mhm.
You know, it has its issues like PC optimization, but a lot of that can be worked around if you just toy with your own settings. You know, they're patching things still, so it's cool. I don't have any issues running it at this point. I don't even know what frames I'm getting because I shut off my overlays, but that was part of me trying to fix, you know, frame stutter issues and stuff like that. But it has to be running at least a solid 80 frames because I have not seen any weird fragments or glitches lately ever since their last update. So I've been pretty happy. But now to hear that they're, you know, reprising old IPs just makes me more excited to like see Capcom doing good things, right? It's like watching Square come out with a not Final Fantasy game that's a big hit. You know, like you know it's going to be good. I'm just saying, like you know it's a different title than what their IP usually is, but you know it's going to be good because they've got the right kind of teams behind it, kind of thing. So
Redo Legends of Dragoon.
They are.
Oh,
give me Chrono Trigger. I'll take an HD 3D
I'll
remaster.
I'll
of
take
Chrono Trigger.
I'll take either of them.
I was gonna say
I'm
Chrono
selfish.
Trigger's
Give me
been
both.
updated, and while I agree with that, Legends of Dragoon, I think Scorch, you're the one that shared
I
that
did
to
send
me,
you a
right?
thing. Yes, but that is a fan-made project.
Oh, okay. You got me all
Oh,
excited.
No.
damn.
It's not a remake, but there is a team, like a group out there that's actually currently looking for people to play test their game. That apparently did a Legend of Dragoon like remaster. So, you know, new graphics, and I think they actually even like added a little more to the story.
Did they do
Which
it
is
like the Final Fantasy games?
I don't think it's quite that high end, but
Okay.
it will be modern. Let's put it that way.
Mhm.
dude, it's so funny. Just doing a quick Google search of Legends of Dragoon. It is just nothing of people for the past literally 6 years saying there's money being left on the table without a remake of this game.
Oh, absolutely. It was in popularity, it was easily up there with Final Fantasy
It's such a
with
good
only
game.
one game.
Such a good game.
I think they made a second round of something similar, but I don't think it was the same story. But
So somebody did Legend of Dragoon remake in RPG Maker, but that is not the thing I am talking about.
No. Fuck
Kane,
that.
do you know where I sent you that? Was that just across like
No, I'm trying to find it because I was gonna share it in chat. It's not
Okay.
Instagram.
it's got to be Messenger then?
And I do remember us talking about this, but I'm having a fucking brain fart. Holy shit, Chrono Trigger got remade.
Chrono Trigger got remastered, like just so it could run on modern hardware.
but
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
also
yeah.
not talking
It-
about remasters. I'm talking about full remakes.
Chrono
Yeah.
Chrono
Fair.
Trigger got ported to the Steam Deck, or not Steam Deck, to the Switch. It got ported to mobile, but it's not as good.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's not an actual remake by any stretch, but just the fact that it's accessible again.
Yeah. Hang on, I'm looking through some messages here. Nope,
Also,
that is-
going back to Capcom, did you see that when they put in Monster Hunter Wilds that when you capture a monster, eventually they just run away?
yes.
Yeah, Scorch did that last night. We trapped a monster, and then he was like, "Hey, just hang tight." So I just sat there and like started sharpening up my weapon, started just like emoting at each other like goofy little nerds, and then the most terrifying thing happens. It just stands up from the trap and runs at you, and then through you, and then off the map.
Nice.
It just gets up and disappears after being asleep and trapped.
But the other thing that was scary about it was like, so the one specifically that we trapped, we cut off its tail, we had
Mhm.
scars all over it. When it stands up, it is completely healed.
Oh,
So
they're
I'm
gonna
like,
have to fix that. They're gonna have to fix that.
I mean, for it runs away. You don't fight it again. Like
I was
it just
about to
gets up
say-
and leaves.
Is this an opportunity to tail farm?
That was kind of my original thought until it ran away off the
No.
map.
Okay.
No, you can't even touch it. It doesn't affect the environment anymore. Like if you're fighting 2 monsters at once and you captured one, it gets up and it just clips through everything. Like it just walks off. Which
Wow.
honestly to me feels a little bit like a little bit like a cop out, right? Like I feel like they could have done something better, like have a group of palicos and airships come by and dirigibles and like, send some lines down, pick it up, and then they disappear together or something.
So I haven't
So-
caught anything in the game yet. Do they just when you catch them, they just stay there?
Does it
Yeah,
not
they
go
fo-
to
yeah,
the
they're
arena?
asleep.
There's not an arena yet.
There is an arena.
There is an arena.
You guys just haven't hit it yet.
I just-
Yeah,
Is it after end game?
I haven't dived 30 hours into this game
They-
yet.
They don't give you access
Sorry.
until after you're done with the tutorial.
You guys went to a wedding.
And then some.
I just beat the game today,
I
or I
So
just
you-
I
just
credited
got
the
my
game
first set of
today.
weapons yesterday.
So you're through the tutorial.
So Pirate, you finished the tutorial. Good job.
I did, of course, and then got my ass whooped by a firebird
Yep.
after soloing every other monster.
I fought that scary
Yeah.
ass spider today.
Dude,
Which
that fire
Which
chicken
one?
made me laugh.
The
He's not talking about the fire chicken, but
No, to comment on pirate.
the
Dude, that thing whooped my ass.
not the one with all the cherry blossoms on its ass. The
Okay.
one that captures the what are they called?
Oh, the
The
really creepy
Ewoks.
spider.
Yeah.
The really creepy one.
So you fought Narcilla.
Yeah.
Okay. Yes, I'm starting to learn all their names. I'm sorry.
I still call them chocobo, so you have no reason
They
to apologize.
are
'Cause I won't even
chocobos.
attempt to learn the fucking names.
What's a chocobo? The sacred?
It's
Yeah,
Yeah,
Chocobo.
that's Chocobo.
You guys know mine's name is Chocobo, right?
So is
Nice.
mine.
You could rename
There it is.
I named mine Chocobo too.
Also,
Nice.
I'm with Kain. You can name them.
Yes.
In
you can
game?
name them. Yes.
Damn. I've been just trying to grind through the story so I can get to the real game.
Well, don't worry. It's part of the story that eventually you can actually customize your sacred. So
Oh,
you'll get there and then you can name them and all that fun stuff. You can change their colors.
I'm just
Mhm.
excited for when my sacred can start flying.
That's always been a thing. You can glide with the sacred.
Yeah, you just got to jump off a cliff. It's not something you can activate.
It's not something. It's not
Oh.
something that normally happens either because they take their own
Yeah, they
routes
just-
and stuff. Yeah.
Well, that and like I've jumped off cliffs before, and it doesn't give me, or at least I haven't paid attention for the option to hit the button to glide. It just like dive bombs to like the fourth.
R2. Just press it.
Well, now I know.
Tiny little wings come out. Basically.
That's
Yeah.
funny.
Capcom as a company, looking up, might buy some stock.
Toyota's been announcing
Well.
some stuff lately too.
If you're talking about stock, now's the time.
If you're talking about stock, did you see Discord's talking about going or about to go public?
Terrible
did not.
idea. Going back
That
to
is a terrible
Venturello.
idea.
Uh,
Although didn't Discord actually get bought out by somebody recently?
Microsoft.
Oh yeah.
Well, Discord itself has plans to go public as of 5 days ago.
Yeah, Microsoft owns a controlling share. But they don't it's not purchased
Publicly
into their
traded.
Microsoft umbrella. But that's how you get Discord on Xbox. So I know we're all Thailand 2026.
Are we?
But oh yeah, we voted. You lost. We're going to Thailand next year.
I wasn't even part of the vote. Awesome.
Yeah, you are a part of the trip though.
Have you said? Would you say no?
No.
I mean, even if you did, it was like 6-1.
Yeah, I was.
It
Gonna
doesn't
say,
really seem
we
like
can
I have an
stuff
option
you in an
anyway, so.
undercarriage bag. We'll mark you as a pet, so they pressurize it.
Jesus Christ.
BlizzCon 2026. It's happening.
Can it still be in person?
It doesn't
Officially
that happen
announced.
every year.
It hasn't happened since 2023, and 2023's was remote.
I don't really have any interest, but
You mean Microsoft Con?
Right? I'm curious just to see, and I've never been to one of these cons. Like, I want to go hit up either this or like San Diego Comic-Con or something.
Dude,
I don't want
I
to go to
wanna
a
do
PAX.
PAX.
I would
I'm not
do
sweaty enough for a
PAX.
PAX.
I want to do San Diego Comic-Con.
All right, I guess I'll
is
look
it
that
still
up.
there?
Yeah, they copyrighted Comic-Con.
No, I mean, I mean, is the building still there to do the con in?
Oh, I don't know. It's San Diego. They weren't on fire.
Okay, just
just
checking.
close.
As far as I know, all of California has been on fire the last like year or two. So
No,
Yeah, but it was LA that got hit bad.
yeah, it was
Yeah,
just
just-
LA, and good. Um, not said I feel bad for the people of LA, but LA kind of needs a reset. They're like New Orleans. But yeah, Comic-Con would be fun. It's what, August, right?
September 28th, 25th to the 28th this year.
Nope. Can't do two
What?
things in September. Um, but yeah, I'm excited that the cons are coming back. I think because of COVID, more people are wanting to actually like get recycled air next to other gamers because fucking lands are coming back. There's a local
also-
land to us in the fourth dimension that is coming back next year that I'm probably gonna go do. It's a 48-hour LAN party.
In the fourth dimension?
In the event center.
Oh. I was like, what did I miss?
I don't know. He started talking gibberish and I got lost too. Sorry.
My bad. That's what I call the place we live, is the fourth dimension.
Nice.
I got you, bro.
I smell what you're stepping in.
Yeah, no, I got it now.
But
this
All of
one's-
us are constantly breaking the fourth wall anyway, so
So for you, Scorch, did you see they're coming out with the $170 Mario Kart Lego set?
I did.
ooh,
But I still have
I know
three
you're
sets in
into
my
that.
back. I still have 3 sets in my backlog to build, so
Why not 4?
But it's 2,000
Actually-
pieces.
I'm sorry, 3 3/4 of sets to build in my backlog. I have one that I'm currently working on. That's the R2D2 set. So
dude, they've made so many different R2D2s. Like Lego has
Yeah, but
in
this-
general.
this is like the 12-inch one that's actually got like the good details on it and stuff. So
Yeah,
it'll be pretty cool.
I can't remember how it had to have been a foot, but there was a time when I had the one that you put the little
That's
like
12 inches.
servos in, and it would like go around, and it could tell if it was gonna bump into stuff, and it would like spin and make noises and shit.
This definitely is not that one. This is more of the adult model version of that
Kain,
toy.
I think I vaguely remember the one that you're talking about because it also actually had an arm that would come out and clamp like the extender dino arm bullshit. And like I remember seeing videos back in the day of people using it to like open the fridge, grab a beer from the like bottom shelf, and then come back to the couch.
Yeah, there was serious consideration of how to make it do that. But yeah, that's cool, I guess.
Yeah, I've been slacking on my Lego builds. I need to get down on that shit.
Yeah, I need to head back over to your place so we can knock out that R2D2 one.
Let's do it.
Hi, Kitty.
By the way, Square Enix is having an announcement on Chrono Trigger on March 14th for the 30th
word.
anniversary.
Let's go.
Oh, the 30th anniversary thing?
Yeah. All right, boys, you guys ready to count it down?
Yeah, I think this is a good stop point.
Yeah.
Let me go kick the AI bot.
Real quick. Chrono Trigger HD 2D remake looks like it's going to be on Switch 2.
It's a good game for
Yay.
Switch 2. I mean, it'd be a good game for Switch 1.
Which one probably couldn't run it?
Yeah, I'll say, oh, wait.
Really? Really?
Dude, the Switch is
Switch-
in garbage hardware forever.
And
So
on
it
that
came
note,
out with 2 generation old hardware,
I'm aware.
and I happily own one. And
I-
my
I have
spouse and
one.
I still rock the fuck out of it to this day.
There are 2 in
I
my
have-
house, and I own neither.
Mine is currently sitting on a box on my dresser.
and
Oh,
on that bombshell, thank you all for listening. You can always contact us for any sponsorships, ads, anything like that at depthsofjigoku@gmail.com. You can always find us on all of our socials at the Depths of Jigoku. It's Twitter or X, YouTube, Spotify, Instagram, Twitch. If you feel some kind of way you need to talk to somebody, please talk to somebody. And I'll have to tell you later.
Also, shout out to Dave. We don't get any monetary gain for it.
Later, y'all.
Houston, I'm getting a little fluctuation in the AC voltage now. Roger. Took the meter maybe, huh? Stand by. Looking good. You're still looking good. It's coming up 3 minutes.